Everybody ready to go? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the El Cajon City Council meeting. If you could take your seats, I'd appreciate that. The meeting is now called to order, and I'll ask our city clerk to call the roll.
All council members are present.
Would you all please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for a brief moment of silence afterwards? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The city clerk posted orders of adjournment of the July 26, 2022 meeting and the agenda of the August 9th, 2022 meeting in accordance with state law, council, and housing authority policy. We have one presentation on today's agenda, and I'd like to invite Julie Cajon to share this with us about this. Hi, Julie.
Hi. Okay. Good afternoon, Mayor Wells, council, staff, and community members. My name is Julie Cajon. I am a Parks and Recreation Manager and co-chair of the We Are One Committee. Here with me are the other co-chairs, Selena Battisti and Lindsay Johnson.
Hi.
We appreciate your time today, and we are excited to share with you a little bit about some of our service projects so far this year and about our project this morning at ECTLC. As you may recall from previous presentations, the We Are One Committee was formed to give city employees the opportunity to serve within our community. And additionally, it brings employees together that do not typically get to cross paths. So it's a nice kind of way to bridge that gap between departments who don't always interact with each other. So our first project that we're going to talk about was our tobacco waste cleanup service project. This took place in April with San Diego State University, and SDSU research team actually reached out to us for help with the project on tobacco product waste reduction. Staff collected and categorized tobacco waste product around Magnolia Avenue here in El Cajon. You can see our little El Cajon arch there. And of course, they also collected and disposed of all trash in the area, so it turned into a nice beautification project as well. And then we had our National Paper Airplane Day. May was Mental Health Awareness Month, so the city really focused on mental health for all city employees. Human Resources kind of went above and beyond, put on weekly events to encourage employees to take time for their own mental health. Along those lines, the We Are One partnered with HR on May 26th to celebrate National Paper Airplane Day. This helped to just remind employees the importance of getting outside, getting fresh air, and just have a little fun. So we had a contest to see whose paper airplane could fly the furthest. Up in the corner there is Tim Williams. He won. Wasn't really a contest. He did very well. And then this morning, we did our ECTLC beautification project. We ended up with over 50 city employees from all of our departments joined us over at the El Cajon Transitional Living Center for a beautification project. We helped to revitalize their highly used children's play area. They were telling us this morning they have upwards of 150 kids at any given time there, so that playground is quite popular. We cleaned and painted the concrete and the fence area around the playground. We also helped to paint the parking blocks in the parking lots. And PD and fire joined us to interact with the kids there at ECTLC. They gave out stuffed animals, fire hats, and stickers. The kids were very excited. We had one little girl actually run up when she saw a fire truck pull up and tried to monkey climb her way into the window of the truck. He had to get out and was like, here, you can play, and let her kind of sit in the driver's seat. It was really cute. But overall, it was a very fun and successful event. Despite the heat, it was quite warm by 8 a.m. And Ivan, who is the acting CEO over there right now, made a comment that he was expecting good and got great. So our city employees definitely impressed, which is great. So lastly, we're always looking for new service opportunities. So if anyone has an organization or project that they need help with, we can be reached at weare1@elcajon.gov. And we just want to thank you. We want to thank all the city employees that have served with us this year. And we also want to thank you, the city council, and our executive team for supporting We Are One and allowing us all these opportunities to serve in the community.
I have a house that has lots of yard work. I mean, if you're looking for something to do. I appreciate you doing this. You know, it's one of the things I really like about alcohol. We're big, but we're small enough to get out there and see people face to face and help them meet their needs. And I think it goes a long way when people see that the city employees care enough to do something like this. I can't thank you enough. So let me see if the council has comments or questions.
Did you guys get up on the roof and throw the airplanes? Is that what that picture was? No. Oh.
We were over the Centennial Plaza, like by the
Oh, just behind
us.
us.
Yeah.
It looked like he was on the roof. Okay.
That would have been fun.
That would have been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Maybe next
Great
time.
idea.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Sign some waivers.
Ideas.
No, fantastic work. Thanks to our leadership for starting this, and I'm sure the employees get as much out of it as the people benefiting from the work. Fantastic idea, fantastic execution, participation. Just seems like a great program all around. So thank you for keeping it going.
Anybody else? Okay. Hey, thank you very much.
If I can make just one comment, I want to thank Councilmember Mitchell, who was out there helping us paint today. So really appreciate that. And then,
That's
if you look at our employees and you look at what motivates any employees in any organization, it's about having fulfillment and meaning, right? And so a lot of the work that we do has a lot of meaning, has a big impact on people's lives. But having opportunities like this to connect our employees with the people that they serve is really important. So I want to thank just the We Are One committee and all the city employees that came out. We had firefighters that came out on their day off. So it was a really cool event, and hopefully we can have other opportunities. So if the community has things that they would like us to do, whether it be cleaning up a stretch of street or helping out a nonprofit, we're here to help.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you very much. And please pass along our thanks to the rest of your team.
Thank you.
All right, we're at agenda changes. Staff, do you have any agenda changes?
No, sir.
Council? No. We're now at consent items. Consent items are routine matters enacted by one motion according to the recommendation listed below. With the concurrence of the City Council, a council member or person in attendance may request discussion of a consent item at this time. Council members, do you wish to pull any of the consent items? Okay. Staff, do you wish to pull any of the consent items?
No, sir.
I'll make a motion then to approve the consent items.
Second.
Please vote.
And for the record, sir, there are no comments for consent items, and the motion carries by unanimous vote.
Appreciate that. Okay. That brings us to public comment. At this time, any person may address a matter within the jurisdiction of the City Council, Housing Authority, or successor agency to the El Cajon Redevelopment Agency that is not on the agenda. Comments relating to items on today's agenda are to be taken at the time the item is heard. State law prohibits discussion or action on items not on the agenda. However, City Council and Housing Authority members may briefly respond to statements or questions, and an item may be placed on a future agenda. Angela, do we have any speaker cards for public comment?
Yes, we do, sir. We have two. The first one is Wendy Provencher.
Hi, Wendy. Welcome.
Hi. How you guys doing?
Good, thank you.
So it seems like it's been forever since I've been here 2 weeks ago because so much has happened. But I'm just here because I and we, the citizens on my street, want to sincerely thank you, Mayor Wells, and the city council members, Tony Shute and his department, Captain Rainsweiler and his team, for your consideration and kind words the last time I was here, and for meeting and taking action that I described to you guys. We're very grateful and appreciative to Sergeant Gray of the El Cajon Police Department, who cared enough to send a traffic out immediately in regards to a call I had on suspicious activity on the 29th, which resulted in 2 vehicles being towed and some stolen property being recovered. Also, a huge thank you to Officer Parker, who also responded immediately to a call, which resulted in another vehicle being towed on July 30th. Our neighborhood is beyond thankful for the major operation which took place on August 2nd, which resulted in 2 arrests, more vehicles being towed, and more stolen merchandise being recovered. We can't thank you. The last week has been quiet. We've watched them across the street at night, removing things, taking things away. The vehicle traffic has, from 11:30 on, has become almost nil. I don't have air conditioning in my house, and you can know how hot it's been. The last 3 or 4 nights, about 6:30 or 7, we've seen officers come down the street, pause in front of this house, look at it, and go down the street. They're taking notice because shortly after, people will come out and jump in cars and leave. We just truly can't thank you guys enough for just caring and saying call. Officer Rainsweiler, I don't know if he's here, when I said I don't want to be a pest, he said be a pest. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We truly can't thank you guys enough. It's really made a difference in our neighborhood. And we're going to continue until it's the peaceful neighborhood it should be and we don't have to deal with this. So, you know, I tried to buy Officer Gray's or Sergeant Gray's team dinner last night. They wouldn't let us give them dinner or water. Our neighborhood would really like to do something. I don't know if you guys can accept stuff in the office, but we are truly, truly thankful.
You know, you've just given us everything that we could possibly want.
Sorry, I'm getting emotional. We've just dealt for this in the last 2 weeks. Seems like a year's worth of stuff in a 2-week period.
No, that's
sorry.
I'm sure I speak for the entire council when I say that when something works out the way it's supposed to, and you come and tell us that your life is better as a result of actions of our police department and the council.
Yeah. They were amazing,
incredible. It doesn't get better than that for us. You guys have any questions or comments? Thank you. Let's keep vigilant about this. These problems have a tendency to come back if you let.
Well, we are. We're taking notice, but just the drives down the street that the neighbors are noticing, the house is noticing it because people come out and jump in their cars and leave immediately after the officers have driven by. So it's blatant that they're noticing that stuff's taking place.
Come back once in a while and give us updates, okay?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Last speaker is Kristen Miller.
Hi, Ms. Miller. How are you?
Hi. Good afternoon. How are you?
We're doing good, I think. Yeah.
Great. All right. Good afternoon. My name is Kristen Miller, which I would hope you already would know, but I'm pretty sure you don't, and that's why I'm here. How aware are you of the corruption going on in the Cajon Valley School District? That's what I really want to know. It is my understanding that El Cajon has an excellent mayor with conservative values, morals, and integrity. The complete opposite is what you will find in the leadership of the Cajon Valley School District. How can that be? What am I missing? I've worked as a teacher in multiple school districts in San Diego, and I specifically came to El Cajon School District as I was told by a friend that I wouldn't face the same problems that I faced in my previous district, La Mesa Spring Valley. My friend couldn't possibly have known that apparently all the districts are the same. What has and what can be done to make the morals, values, and integrity of the people that live in the community resonate through its school district? For example, the same day you call your meetings here, in another room less than a mile away, a month ago, the El Cajon School Board was critiquing the services of El Cajon's paramedics. A sitting member of the school district said that she was taken aback, that she was heartbroken, so disappointed that El Cajon's paramedics are not all bilingual. She proclaimed to everyone that it was her that was the hero in the situation, not the paramedics that actually performed the services to rescue an injured elderly woman. Since she was able to translate, the real hero in the situation was her. The paramedics, with all their training and their skill, were letting the community down. Is this what you want to be portrayed as to the community? Do you align with the corrupt and self-gratifying school district in your city? Do you investigate the abuse of power and indoctrination within your school district? Do you investigate, because I am a living and breathing testimonial, that teachers are leaving in droves due to indoctrination of our students, abuse of power, ridiculous COVID policies, and corruption within this district, and so many others. Aren't the youth what really make our city? Is this the best we can offer them? I really don't think it is. We can do better, and I hope we do. Thank you for your time.
Hi. I think the council will probably have some questions and comments for you. I just want to set the record straight a little bit. We don't have any jurisdiction over what happens in the school. The school district is a separate government body, so they have their own elected board, and they make their own decisions, and we have no influence on them whatsoever unless they were to commit a crime. Then the police would be involved. So I don't want to say that's an excuse, but I want to say that that's
from my experience, they are committing crimes within that district.
And, you should let us know and let our police department know. We certainly want to hear about that. I think what you're saying is something that is being said in every city in America right now. There are teachers that are horrified, parents that are horrified, and they're coming forward. And I think there's a movement right now to take back the school system from people that are accused of indoctrinating children and having a lot of negative practices. All I can say is that if you want change, you've got to be a pest. You've got to show up with a bunch of people and make a lot of noise, and people will notice. And I think also finding people to run for office and people that share your values and taking back control of a system that's out of control is, that's the American way. That's what our founders put in place so that we can always have the will of the people represented. So I'm not unsympathetic to everything you're saying. And we will do what we can to help, but we're limited in our ability. I'll just leave it at that and see if you have any questions of me.
Not at this time.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else want to say anything, Phil?
If you'd be willing to leave your contact information with the clerk, I'd be willing to reach out with you and have an extended conversation offline.
For sure. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And if you ever want to meet with me and Phil together or me separately, I'd be willing to come and meet you for coffee and talk about any of your issues. Just contact me through my office. Yes. Angela, are there any more speakers?
No other comments, sir.
All right. There are no written communications on today's agenda. There are no public hearings on today's agenda. We have one administrative report on today's agenda. Item 9 is regarding the speeding education campaign, and I'd like to have staff talk about this.
So as Chief Moulton comes up, I want to just remind the council that one of the goals that we set this year had to do with reducing speeding throughout our community. And there was several goals or objectives related to that, and this happens to be one of them. So with that, Chief.
Thank you, Graham. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. This will be a fairly brief update on one of your 2022 City Council goals, which was reducing vehicle speeding throughout the city. As you'll see in the agenda report, one of the components of that goal for the police department was developing an education campaign with the assistance of and for our local high school students. We have 4 school resource officers at our 4 local high schools. Those school resource officers conducted focus groups with the students on the issue of speeding. A couple of noteworthy things from those sessions were that 52% of the students believed more education was needed in the schools regarding safe driving. 40% believe more enforcement was needed around the schools during peak hours. So based on that feedback, the Oklahoma Police Department, we just recently conducted this month a 4-hour safe driving train-the-trainer course that our SROs will be able to take back to the high schools. When students return to campus later this month, our school resource officers will coordinate with our traffic division to increase enforcement during the peak hours of school. We are also increasing the promotion of safe driving through our various social media platforms, and we'll continue to engage with the high school students through our close partnership with Grossmont Union High School District. That concludes my report, and I can answer any questions you may have.
Let me see if there are any questions for you, Chief. Questions? Steve?
What kind of issues, traffic issues, are we hearing about around schools that this would address?
A lot of the issues regarding traffic we have around the schools are actually congestion related. There is some speeding, there is some running the stop signs and things like that. Really, we're part of the task and this goal for the campaign was trying to figure out what the high school students needed to increase their driving safety. But a lot of the issues we have around the schools are parents driving around the schools, just people in the community driving around the schools at increased speeds. So we will be conducting additional enforcement on that.
And is that going to be a warning thing, or is that going to be citation first?
We leave the discretion up to the officers.
Okay.
In any traffic stop they have the discretion to give a warning or write a citation. It's usually based on the severity of the violation, maybe the cooperation of the person that's being stopped, those types of things.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So I read the notes on the agenda, for the agenda, and I was really surprised to hear such a positive feedback from the high school students. And they're saying, yeah, we need slower speeds. We need education. We want this. And I think that says something about our students, that they're, being more engaged. And of course, it's kind of nice to hear that, since the stereotype is it's all the teenagers, when in fact it probably is a lot of their parents. But as a grandmother of 3 kids who have driven, I'm on the last high schooler. I'm glad to hear this, because, they need to know. When we were, some of us older ones that were in driver's ed in high school, we saw the movies. We did the little cars, the simulator cars, and you see the crashes and everything. And it's not the same if you don't see that in practice or when you're in training. I don't think it has the same impact, because it's not, Grand Theft Auto. Life is not GTA. Life is not Mario Kart. It's reality out there on the streets. And I cringe every time a grandkid, was going to get their license. It's like, I don't want them out there. But I'm really glad to hear that. And it sounds like it's going to be a good, positive experience. So I would be interested to hear feedback and how it goes, say, in 6 months or so.
I was a little surprised, too, that 40% wanted increased enforcement. I'm assuming that those are the good drivers. That
right.
Right. But it is good to hear. We have had tragedies in this community with teen driving, so it's really important that we educate them the best we can.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Chief, for all the work you do. I think this is a great program. I'm not too old to remember SRO programs when I went to Santana, and I remember, I don't know if it was SRO or if it was Mothers Against Drunk Driving or something, but they brought in a speaker who had lost their leg in an accident, and he spoke, and it the whole auditorium, all high schoolers, it changed the perspective of us. I mean, even some of the more reckless students. And so I'm a full believer in this. I mean, we had the tragedy up on Fletcher Parkway, I think last year or the year before, with some high school students. So it's these kinds of programs that are incrementally going to begin changing the degrees of information and decisions that these kids make. And hopefully some other kids will influence other kids and things like that. So fantastic program. Keep it going.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay. Angela, the receive any comments on this item?
No comments, sir.
Okay, staff only requested feedback. Staff, do you need a motion of any kind?
No, not at all. This is helpful. We just want to see if we're on the right track and keep the council apprised of where we're at.
Council, any other discussion you want to relay to staff? No, I think we got it. Everybody seems like to feel like we're going in the right direction. Thank you for doing this. All right. There are no commission reports on today's agenda. Item 10 is my activities report, which is as reported. Then we're at activities of council members. Councilmember Goebel.
As reported?
Councilmember Kendrick.
As reported.
Councilmember Mitchell.
Couple of changes. I didn't do the East County Magazine interview, and you can add today's painting
Oh, yeah. Thanks for doing that.
exercise today.
You should get double points for that.
I thought so. It was really hot out.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think everything is as reported.
Excellent. And Councilmember Ortiz. There are no joint council member reports and no general information items on today's agenda. There are no first readings of ordinances. We're now at closed session. The city attorney will recite the title and lead us into closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. The City Council is going to meet in closed session on 3 items today. First item is a conference with legal counsel on anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to paragraph 2 of subdivision D of Government Code section 54956.9, one potential case. It's the claim of Robert Rose as described in the agenda. Second is another closed session for the same purposes, not the same fact pattern, but it's potential litigation, significant exposure to litigation under paragraph 2 of subdivision D of Government Code section 54956.9. The claimant in this case is Natalie Silu. And the third is a closed session for conference with real property negotiators pursuant to Government Code section 54956.8. It's property, as described on the agenda, 31.7 acre vacant site at the northwest corner of Weld Boulevard and Cuyamaca Street. And the negotiating parties are the Chestnut Properties LLC and another party, SGC LMC Weld Investment Company. The city negotiators are the city manager, assistant city manager, and the city attorney. To be discussed will be price and terms for acquisition of a leasehold interest and new lease back to negotiating parties.
Well, thank you, Morgan. I'd like to make a motion then to adjourn to closed session. Please vote.
Mr. Kendrick, could I please have your vote? Motion carries by unanimous vote.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to closed session. We should be back fairly quickly to finish the meeting. Stand up because my inner ear was messed up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back from closed session. I will hand it over to our city attorney to report on the happenings of closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. This 3-minute timer is not working. City Council met in closed session on 3 items. First 2 were claims, one of Robert Rose, the second of Natalie Silu. Direction was given to the city's legal counsel on this matter, both of these matters. And then item 17 was a closed session for conference with real property negotiators. Direction was given to the city's negotiators. Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan. I appreciate that. This brings us to the adjournment of the regular joint meeting of the El Cajon City Council, El Cajon Housing Authority, successor agency to the El Cajon Redevelopment Agency, held this 9th day of August 2022. We are adjourned till tonight, August 9th, 2022 at 7 o'clock p.m. We'll see you then.